my serious music education I have started when I was 19.
19, okay.
And my main training, of course, is classical music,
Yeah.
both as a conductor and a composer and a lecturer.
Yeah.
But I do sing sometimes because I direct many schools together.
Yeah.
And beforehand, I was a child in a choir, like every Jewish boy.
Yeah.
And that, of course, brought me the love to liturgical music.
Yeah.
My aim and my goal is to bring the beauty of the Jewish liturgical music to the main concert hall in the world.
Wow.
And why? Because Jews were the first to bring music as part of sacred service to the world.
Yeah.
Two major values, the Bible
Yeah.
and music as part of Avodat HaKodesh, sacred service.
In the realm of classical music, do you have any favorite pieces or composers, like in the European classical?
Well, usually when I conduct a concert, the piece I conduct that minute is my favorite piece.
Oh, okay. Forget about
But
Black and focus.
I do have certain kind of visions which direct my thinking to think even about music as a faith, as a faith to God, as a religious aspect. For example, I was conducting in Prague a very complicated piece by Richard Strauss, the Alpen Symphony. And I said to the musicians, I want you to play it as if you say, thank you, God, for creating such a monument place as the Alpen Mountains.
Wow. Wow.
And I conduct a lot of biblical music from the classical, both from the classical and from the Jewish religion.
Yeah.
I combine sometimes Chazanut, which I arrange for symphony orchestra, and the regular classical literature to have this goal reached, to show them, listen, this is our culture.
Yeah.
That's where it belongs.
When I studied with Benny Monk, he said, you know, some of these melodies actually may have been sung in the temple, in the Beit HaMikdash. They survived like thousands of years.
Well, this is a very, very complicated issue.
Yeah.
The first written liturgical music we have in history was written by Ovadia Hager, I believe, around the 7th century. Well, whatever they tell you about, it was in the temple and so on, even the cantillation, the Ta'amei HaMikra, is not as old, more as so. We used to have the Jerusalem cantillations, Ta'amim Yerushalmim, and Ta'amim Tverianim. The Jerusalem cantillations, unfortunately, was lost. We are using today the Tiberian cantillations, which even in the 12th century, Rashi, in his interpretation to Masechet Shabbat, comments that they still help with their hands signing how to read.
Wow.
That means at that time it was not yet so determined to be in the Bible as it is today.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm Ashkenazi, right? So my great-grandparents came to America from Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and Romania.
What is Nusach?
Okay, yeah.
Nusach is cantillation of the Siddur.
Yeah.
Ta'amei HaMikra of the Siddur. Just like there is a trop of the Bible, but you have different trop melodies for Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, which we are now in between, Megillot, Haftarah, and there is cantillations or trop the way the Sfaradim, Achenu Bnei Edot HaMizrach read it, the Yamani, Yerushalmi, Moroccan, Tunisia, etc. A lot of variety. But there is certain kind of joint element. Now the Hasidim has too, their own Nusach. The Hasidim are known to use, which obviously influenced many other synagogues, during the high holidays, songs without words, melody without words.
Nigun.
For example, or the beginning of we all do it. Now, we in the classical world know the famous Mendelssohn piece, Songs Without Words for piano, one of the most important piano works ever written. But in the Jewish world, especially in the Hasidic, the melody has such a profound meaning of interpretation. For example, when you do Kedusha during the high holidays, Kevodo, and you sing, why? Those three steps are Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. The Talmud teaches us that when Am Yisrael says Kedusha, the angels are mounting steps by steps. And that is why we do it also during Seder Avodah on Yom Kippur. Why? Because והכהנים והעם, כששומעים את השם, מפורש יוצא מפי כהן גדול, בקדושה ובטהרה. קדושה and קדושה.
Wow, there's so much there. And when you were speaking, I was thinking about here the focus of the Great Synagogue Choir. It's mostly in the Ashkenazi East.
Well, we do have sometimes Oriental music. I love Oriental music. 3 weeks ago, the mayor of Jerusalem, Moshe Leon, made a Shabbat here of Sephardi Chazanut, Sephardi Shabbat.
Wow.
It was for me, a most moving experience. Moving experience. Their preciseness in expressing the word. Their preciseness in their reading the Torah. And their general attitude toward the tefillah. I was moved. I was overwhelmed.
I was thinking about people like Leonard Bernstein, and he composed for Broadway, but I was in a class at Hebrew University, and he said that he grew up hearing Chazanut, and it.
Yes, he wrote even some Chazanut, Hashkivenu.
Oh wow!
I'm not talking about Chichester Psalm, which is written in Hebrew. I'm not talking about his first symphony, Jeremiah, which I often conduct.
Oh wow!
And I did the Chichester Psalms in Prague. This man had such a deep Jewish heart. And
I know he also taught a little bit about jazz music. He put something together, I think maybe at Lincoln Center. And,
everything he touched, he was a blessing.
A
blessing to all music lovers in the world. Everything he touched became gold. Whether he played Mozart on the piano, conducting from the piano, not talking about Gustav Mahler, which really was resurrected by him. And of course, regular classical literature, but jazz and the Broadway and everything he just thought of. His imagination was beyond understanding.
And I was thinking about two other musicians, Jewish, that came to mind was Jewish music, George Gershwin, and I was thinking about Itzhak Perlman. Both.
Yes.
I feel like Perlman is more of a classical.
Well, but he did some religious music with Helfgot.
Oh yeah, right. The album Echoes
of course, unique. And America was full of Jewish composers. Aaron Copland.
Oh, Aaron Copland,
And I believe he wrote variation on a very famous Jewish song, Mipnei ma, ti-da-dum-dum. And of course, as you said, George Gershwin. Which reminds me, Barechu et Hashem HaMevorach, reminds me that immediately. But yes, American Jewry has contributed a lot to the world of music.
And when you started to sing that melody, the rhythm was like, and it reminded me of the Israeli folk song that starts with the same rhythm, Bashana.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you think of in Israel kind of popular music, people like, I don't know, some of the people I know there's a lot of great singers around, like Yishai Ribo and these people.
Yes, those people it's got a lot of Jewish heart in them.
Yes. And sometimes people, in other words, the world of Chazanut, it's obviously evolves in some way, right? So, I mean, if you took a song like Yonatan Razel, V'hisha Amda, you could probably set it.
It became a symbol. It became universal. As a matter of fact, he was here during Rosh Hashanah, and I've invited him to conduct 2 numbers with the choir, and he was very successful. He's a wonderful man too. Very nice man, a wonderful musician.
We just passed by the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Then after that we have Yom Kippur and Sukkot. And in other words, Rosh Hashanah is the head of the year, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yom Kippur is the day of kind of like the Day of Atonement, the Day of Judgment, and then Sukkot is a little. Is it? Would you say Sukkot is a lighter? It's more of a festive, or?
Well, Zman Simchatenu.
Yeah.
But it's very important.
Yeah.
Yom Hadin is still Hoshana Rabbah. Because and then God signed about the water. Nidonim al hamayim. Nidonim al hamayim. Nevertheless, we have to understand that for me, the end of Ne'ilah and the days between Yom Kippur and Sukkot are the highlights of the year.
Yeah.
Because that's the day we are forgiven. It's a purity. You know, I'm not talking during the entire Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
Since the evening, what you call Tani Dibur.
Okay.
After a Tfilat Ma'ariv of Motzai Yom Kippur, I feel a different man. It's kind of inside cleaning.
Yeah.
Real cleaning. And the Yom Kippur service in the great synagogue is something I would miss forever. If I would have to choose the Berlin Philharmonic or the Vienna Philharmonic or to be here during the Yom Kippur, I would have said I want to be here.